Morning, friends. How are you all? I hope you are all safe, right? Okay, welcome back to our Professional Ethics and Human Values class. We are in a third unit, right? Today's class, we need to discuss about the two things: moral autonomy. Look at these slides. Moral autonomy, the meaning, self skills for improving the moral autonomy, right? And the next topic we need to discuss in this same class, that is components of engineering ethics. These are the few components, right? So components of engineering ethics. These two topics we will discuss it in this class, right? So in this previous class, we discussed about the third unit, types of engineering ethics, macro and micro, and dimensions of ethics. Already we discussed. Another very important topic is here, professional roles to be played by an engineer as a savior, as a guardian, as a bureaucrat or administrator, or and social servant and social enabler, and next a game player. These are the few roles as an engineer we should follow, right? We need to follow. Next, we discussed this thing: professional and professionalism and a profession, right? Profession is nothing but a job. Professional means a job holder who do these works or this job. Professionalism means professional having skills and abilities, talent to complete or to accomplish his job or his work. That is called as here professionalism. Already we discussed this thing, right? Profession duties, professional job holders features, and the professionalism characteristics. We discussed these all things, right? And then we discussed the scope of engineering ethics. So his social experimentation, engineering as social experimentations. So in this slide we have next engineers responsibility for the safety and responsibility towards the employees and rights of the engineers. These are the rights of the engineers and responsibilities of the engineers and global issues. We already discussed these all things, right? And next we study or we discussed about the need of the engineering ethics. Why study engineering ethics and the need of the ethics? And then we completed a history of ethics also, right? These are the different centuries and the evolution or developments of ethical concepts from 14th century before Christ to 21st century now at the time at nowadays, right? Nowadays. So today's topic, moral autonomy and components of engineering ethics. These two topics, right? First of all, coming to moral autonomy. So here, what is meant by moral autonomy? So morals means simply ethics, values, and morals of a human being, right? Moral autonomy means, so here autonomy means self-regulation, self-rule. So not based upon others' rule, not depending upon others' regulations, right? Just only we need to follow self-rules, self-regulation, self-control, right? So simply independent. These moral decisions, ethical decisions should be more independent, not forcing by others, not given rules and regulations by others. Just we need to follow based upon our mindset, based upon ourselves. That is called as here moral autonomy. Moral autonomy, right? So here morals and ethics, these two things are having same sense. So what do's and what don't do's, what the right behavior and what don't right behavior. What is the right manner and what are the don't having the wrong bad manner. So I'm trying to helping others and having the pity and the kindness, right? Understanding the situations of others. These all things are comes under the name of ethics and the morals. But slight differences between these are ethics are meant for the outsiders, the outsiders. So here, outsiders means the friends, the relatives, neighbors, and the unknown persons. These all things are also called as society. So in front of the society, we follow these all things means understanding the situations, helping, having pity, kindness. Next, do the right things, having right behavior, right manner. These all things in front of the society, in front of the friends, relatives, neighbors, and unknown persons is called as ethics. Morals means same these all things we do in front of the insider peoples like mother, father, brothers, and sisters. Right? These all things are called as morals. Here, the moral autonomy, ethics, or the morals, these all functionalities of ethics and the morals we need to follow based upon our mindset. Don't force, don't follow the rules and regulations given by the others or law, right? Just we have independent, we have freedom to follow ethics or not, to follow morals or not. It is ethics and morals following is this concept or this point is purely based upon our mindset, not based upon the others and forcing by others and the law. That is called as here moral autonomy. Moral autonomy. Okay. Just to follow the rules and regulations and follow the ethics and morals is purely based upon our mindset, our attitude, and our ideologies and thoughts, not forcing by others. That is moral autonomy, right? So simply here, having independence, having self-rules, having self-control to follow the ethics or morals. So if your mindset is right, then you follow the ethics and morals. If you don't have your mindset in a right manner, then you don't follow the ethics and morals. It is purely depending upon you and your mindset. That is moral autonomy, right? Here, look at this thing. The moral autonomy is the philosophy which is self-governing. Already I told you, self-governing means self-management or self-determining, self-fixation, self-deciding. That is acting independently. Just I told you, acting independently without the influence or distortion of the others. So without influence of others, just we acting independently. That is moral autonomy. Once again, I want to repeat it. Without influencing of others, only acting independently and self-governing, self-determining, self-decision making for following morals, ethics, or not. That is called as your moral autonomy, right? So here the moral autonomy related to the individual ideas where whether the right or wrong conduct, which is independent of ethical issues. So here look at this thing. The moral autonomy related to the individual idea, individual idea. So your perception, your attitude, your ideas, whether it may be right or it may be wrong to conduct right behavior or wrong behavior, which is independent of the ethical issues and moral issues, right? So whatever the rules and regulations, whatever the concept, whatever the issues, whatever the situations, these all things are depending upon your mindset, your attitude. If you want to help them, you can. If you don't want to help them, you can. So it's depending upon your ideologies and your attitude. So that is called as your moral autonomy, not influencing by others not forcing by others. Just these ethical and moral functions or treatments is done by you and your mindset, not by forcing by others. So it is independent self rules and self regulations, independent free decisions about do or not do, the ethics and morals. That is moral autonomy, right? Coming to the next slide. So meaning of moral autonomy. So autonomy means here self-governing. So governing means maintenance, management. So self-maintenance, self-management. Next, act independently, not by forcing and not by threatening by others. Just act independently as per your mindset. Next, self-determining. So determining means fixation, fixing. So self-decisions, right? Next, skills or habits of a person is called as also moral autonomy, right? Next, rational thinking, thinking logically or reasonably. It may be good or bad decisions, right? Rational thinking or rational thinking. So this rational thinking is based upon your mindset, right? So self-management, act independently, not by forcing by others or not regulated by others. Just each and every task and each and every act is purely dependent upon your mindset and your attitude independently. So act independently and self decision making, self fixation of your future things and skills habits of a person, rational thinking. These all things are the synonyms of autonomies, moral autonomy. So whatever situation or place is it is, just you follow your mindset. That is called as here moral autonomy, right? Now coming to here, moral autonomy means self-governing or self-determining. That is act independently. Just I told you in this previous slide, right? Moral autonomy is concerned with the independent attitude of a person related to the ethical issues. So related to the ethical issues or it may be moral issues. These all issues purely related to the person's attitude. Already I told you, the person's attitude, it will leads to ethical, do the ethics, follow the ethics and follow the morals, or don't follow the morals and don't follow the moral ethics. Right? It is purely independent. So moral autonomy is concerned with the independent attitude of a person related to the ethical issues as well as moral issues also. It will help us to improve the self-determination among the individuals. So moral autonomy will help us to self-determination. Just I told you in this previous slide also, self-determination, self-deciding, self-decision making. So moral autonomy will help us to take a self-decisions, self-decision making, not depending upon others, right? Next, autonomous individuals think for themselves and don't do assume the customs are always right. So individuals thinking about always right, always right. I'm right. So you or me or anybody, they feel like I am the right, we are the right, right? So individuals think like always we are right. Next point, they seek to reason and live by general principles. So general principles, they seek. Seek means searching, to reason and live by general principles. And their motivation is to do what morally responsible for its own sake, maintain integrity, self-respect, and respect for others. These all things are depending upon the mindset and attitude of a person, right? So this is about moral autonomy. Now, skills for improving moral autonomy. So improve the moral autonomy, improve the independence. improve the self-governing, self-control, self-directing. For these purposes, we need to have some skills. So from these skills, we need to have improving our moral autonomy, right? So look at here, some of the skills. So a person become morally autonomous by improving various particular skills like proficiency is recognizing moral problems and issues in engineering and issues in engineering, right? Next thing, skills in comprehending, clarifying, and critically assessing arguments on opposing side of moral issues. Look at here, skills in comprehending, clarify, and critically assessing the arguments on opposing sides of the moral issues. So simply, we have one of the attitude, and we need to have some knowledge about particular thing. But other persons having the negative sense, or it may be positive sense about that particular task or particular issue. So here, conflict of interest rises. So our interest is difference between others' interest. So here, the disputes between our interest and others' interest. So here, dispute will rise for a same particular thing or particular problem. So when the problem is arised, when the different interests are arised, then we have the argument with others. In this particular situations, then we need to clarify and critically assessing the exact issue and the what is the exact argument of opposite side person. This opposite side person may be our father, or maybe our mother, or my brothers or sisters, or life partner, or unknown persons, or it may be friends, whatever opposite person. If any dispute or any a conflict of interest arises, then we make disputes between the other person. In this particular dispute, in this particular conflict, then we need to understand and we need to clarify and we need to care, critically assessing, critically checking the situation, and to stop the arguments and to stop the argument with the other persons. That is called as here the skill, one of the skills to develop the moral autonomy. When argument with the opposite side person, when argument with the opposite side person. Right. Next, coming to the awareness of alternative responses to issues and creative solutions for the practical difficulties or problems. Right. So next thing, awareness of alternative responses. So awareness means just knowing, having awareness about the solutions and create the solutions for particular problem. So to solve the particular problems, we need to have creative solutions, and alternative responses means here alternative solutions, and create creative solutions to solve the problems. It is one of the skill to develop moral autonomy. So if problems are there, problems arises, then to find the responses or solutions with creativity to solve the problems, right? This is the another skills to improve moral autonomy. Next, precision increased precision in the use of common ethical language necessary to express and also defend one view adequately. So here we use common ethical language, and to express and also one's view adequately, right? So just here we use the common ethical language, right? Just having respect to others, give respect to others, take respect and give and take care about others, right? These are the few common ethical languages, right? Next, they must have ability to suggest the solutions to moral issues on the basis of facts. So here, look at this thing. Just having ability or having skill to suggest a solution to moral issues on the basis of facts. So based upon the facts, we need to give some suggestions or solutions to solve others' problems, right? These suggestions must be constant and must be include all the aspects of those problems. So here, to solve the issues or to solve the problems, we need to give suggestions and solutions to others. So here we need to develop that type of ability or that type of skill. It is one of the skill to improve the moral economy. So simply here, give the suggestions and the solutions to others problems, right? The next last, we must understand the importance of maintaining the moral honesty. So it is one of the skill to improve the moral autonomy, right? So this is all about moral autonomy. So autonomy means self-regulating, act independently, not depending upon all others, and by not forcing by others. Self-fixing, self-decision making, skills and habits of a person, rational thinking. These all things are for autonomy. So self-autonomy, right? That is moral autonomy. So if ethical or moral issues, we need to follow or not, it is purely depending upon our mindset, our attitude. That is moral autonomy, right? So these are the skills we need to develop for moral autonomy, right? So now we are entering to the components of engineering ethics. Components of engineering ethics. So these are the few components we should have, right, as an engineer in the workplace. So first one is here, integrity. So integrity means just having the equality, not having the partialities and favoritism to particular person. So having equality and the integrity is one of the best and major component of engineering ethics. So as an engineer, we should maintain integrity with all our colleagues and our workplace, right? Next, the thing is here, confidentiality. So confidentiality means maintain the secrecy levels, right? So secrecy. So we don't reveal the company's data and company's information to all others, right? To rivalries or to don't expose any information to the competitors of the company. So that is here the maintain confidentialities or the maintain secrecies, right? Next, coming to here, objectivity or goal-oriented tasks. So as an engineer, we need to do the tasks and the each and every activity is based upon goal-oriented tasks, right? And the next thing, another component of engineering ethics is having the honesty in our workplace. And next thing, respectfulness. So respectfulness is here, give respect to others and take respect from others. Just having the politeness and having the right attitude and right manner towards subordinates or towards hierarchies or towards the workplace. Just respectfulness, right? It is another component of engineering ethics. And next, obedience to the law. Just we need to follow and we need to obey and we need to accept the rules and regulations given by the law, given by the government. So law. So here law means a set of rules and regulations. This set of rules and regulations given by the government in the name of Indian Constitution, right? So just we need to obey the rules and regulations given by the law or government. That is the point here, obedience to law. It is one of the component of engineering ethics. And next, having the accountability in a workplace. So this means accountability means responsibility. So having the responsibility as an engineer, when we should have the responsibility, right? Not only authority, and also we should have the responsibility towards our work in our workplace, right? That is the point is here, accountability. Components of engineering ethics is thing accountability. And next component is here avoid the black money. Right? Already we know the black money. So illegal earnings is one of the part of black money. Next, avoid bribery and the corruption. So bribery and the corruption. So we need to avoid these two things. And next, avoid deception. Deception means here fraud. So don't do the frauds in the company or don't have the fraudful attitude, right? Next, avoid the discriminations. Discrimination means here the different perceptions about different persons. So not having equality in the workplace, that is called as here different discriminations, right? Different things to different persons and different attitudes upon the different persons is called as a discrimination. So next, avoid the insider trading. So insider trading here, trading means the business. So insider trading means reveal the internal business activities to others, reveal the company's data and information to others, to the competitors is called as the insider trading. So don't do this type of insider trading. Next, don't do the tax evasions, not paying the taxes to the government regularly. That is here tax evasion. So avoid the tax evasions. And last point is avoid the coercions. So forcing to do against the will of the law. That is called as here coercion. So integrity, having equality and not having the partialities and favoritisms in the workplace. Just to treat all the persons and all the employees are equal. That is called as your integrity and the maintain secrecy levels and the confidentialities. And next thing is your maintain objectivity or goal-oriented tasks. Right? As an engineer, we need to have the few pre-decided tasks. These tasks are to achieve the targets of the company. That is goal-oriented tasks, goal-oriented activities must and should followed by the engineers. So it is another component of the engineering ethics. Next, having the honesty and having the respectfulness and obedience to the law. Just law means set of rules and regulations and given by the government or law. Just we need to obey, we need to accept, we need to follow the rules and regulations given by the law. Next, having the responsibility, that is accountability. It is another part of component of engineering ethics. Next, avoid black money, bribery and the corruptions. Next, deception. So don't having the fraudulent mentality. Next, don't having the discriminations. Next, don't do the insider tradings. And next, tax evasion, under coercions. These are the few components we need to have and we need to follow in the name of engineering ethics, right? In this up to now, we discussed here moral autonomy. So moral autonomy and then components of engineering ethics. These two topics are completed. So moral autonomy means here self-governing, self-maintenance, self-directing, and act independently, not by forcing by others, not rules and regulations given by the others. Just the morals and ethicals, we following morals and ethicals is based upon our attitude and our mindset. So ethics, do and follow the ethics and moral issues based upon independently, right? Based upon our mindset, our attitude, right? Having skills and habits of a person, rational thinking, self-decision making, and act independently, self-governing. These all things are comes under here, moral autonomy. So simply, these are the skills we need to develop for having moral autonomy. The first one is recognize the moral problems, right? And next, clarifying and critical assessing when we have argument with other persons, a particular critical situations. Next, awareness or know, having knowledge about the alternative solutions and creative solutions for solve our problems of a company. Next, increase the common ethical languages. And next, must have the abilities to suggest and to give suggestions and solutions to solve the problems of the other persons. So that's why we need to develop some abilities and skills to develop a moral autonomy for giving suggestions and solutions to solve the problems of the others. Next, must understand and the importance of maintaining the moral honesty. Moral honesty. Right? Up to now, we discussed about moral autonomy and the components of engineering ethics. So in the next class, we will meet with another topics of our third unit, right? Thanks for listening, guys. Stay home, stay safe. Be careful with Corona. Bye, guys. Relax.